Like now, Rhode Island are just about ready to go here. And once we get kickoff, we will get you guys filled in with the starting lineups. It'll be Sporting Connecticut to get us underway as our referee, Kristen Sickle, whistles, and we're good to go here. JJ Duke with you again on this Saturday afternoon. Let's give you the starting lineups. First for the visiting Rhode Island Rogues, as Jessica Kazasek is in goal. Then numerically in the field, Julianne Ross wears 6. 7 is Allie Spencer. Magda Carpenter wears 8. Sophia Warburton 15. Ryan Denacor wears 17. Becca Lancaster 21. Jordan Restivo 25. Natalie Zabinskis wears 26. Hannah McNulty, a player to watch out for, wears 27. Last year, one of the top scorers, not only in this conference, but in the entirety of the WPSLs. That is a chance that's gone begging just wide of the mark, but the first early chance for the host. And just to finish Rhode Island starting 11, McNulty last year scoring 13 goals. Was actually the second top scorer in the conference, and then Kylie Quezada wears number 30. That chance going for Aubrey Kolpa, who wears 77 for Sporting Connecticut. A lot of familiar names, though, returning to this roster from the last couple of seasons in UWS. Caitlin Daly is in goal, the University of New Haven product. Christina Stone wears the armband. She wears number 6. Tiffany Weimer, the longtime former professional, now has been basically running circles around players both in the UWS and WPSL soon to come. She wears 8. Tori Souza wears 10. Kylie McIntosh in the back wears 21. Emily Senator 22. Kelly Quigley 24. Emma Zaccanini, one of a number of UConn products in this squad, wears 28. Greta Brunello 33. Kolpa 77, as we mentioned, had that early chance. And Jessica Hinton wears number 99 as this ball is pumped over the top to Tiffany Weimer. Lays that off for Kolpa, able to keep herself onside. First time ball to the back post. It's taken well, though, by Kazasek, and she'll play quickly. Jessica Kazasek, the University of Maine graduate, who was part of that Black Bear squad that won the America East regular season and postseason title from a season ago. Really impressive grad year number with a .86 goals against. There's a chance, and that goes in. Oh, what a finish from Ryan Denacor, ripping that one right over the head of Daly in Rhode Island. 3 minutes in, they lead 1-0. Well, Ryan Denacor, a little step over, cut back onto the right, and a beautiful finish for the player that will be attending LSU in the fall. There was no doubt where that one was going to be destined. That was for the back of the net. And after Sporting Connecticut had a couple of early opportunities, they're made to be paid for missing them. And it'll be the visitors taking the early advantage. Well, for Sporting Connecticut, who over the last couple of seasons have been so dominant in UWS, 8-2 in the regular season last year, 7 wins and 1 loss in the season before. This is a position that they're not all that familiar with, playing from behind. And a number of veterans in the defense is the likes of Kylie McIntosh, the Marist graduate from a decade ago and has plied her trade in UWS. The likes of the Connecticut Fusion as well as this Sporting Connecticut club. Then you have Hinton, who wears 99, played her grad year at Vanderbilt last year, part of that Commodores team that got to the Sweet 16, but spent also 3 years at Brown and graduated from Brown, was a first-team All-Ivy there. And then Greta Brunello, who plays on the left side, wears 33, a stalwart at Southern Connecticut State. The defense has been broached as a chance end line. Good tackle behind by Hinton, but concedes the corner as McNulty tried to turn. Was denied the opportunity. So McNulty a couple of times has been named to the Northeastern Conference Best 11 last year and the season before, and part of that historic campaign for Rhode Island that got themselves through to the national semifinals, dropping just by the 1-0 against the Charlotte Eagles, who ended up winning the title in the league 2 years ago as the corner swung in, going towards McNulty. Souza clearing it away. And it stays on for the visitors. Allie Spencer tees it up. First time service, not a bad effort from McNulty, but it goes over the bar and out for a goal kick. Yeah, McNulty, the Providence alum, played over 100 games for the Friars and scored a number of goals, 28 of them to be exact. There's Kylie McIntosh asking for someone to show to her. It'll just be a throw for the hosts right in front of us. Goes towards Kolpa, who takes it down and plays through Stone. Christina, an outstanding final season in the fall for the University of Hartford, was the Division III leader in assists last year. Stone with 25 of them across 21 starts. A Division III All-American, as well as UHart still in the process of transitioning down from Division I to the Division III level, but won a couple of ECAC postseason titles. A lovely little exchange there as it swung out wide, but to no one in particular. A nice little move that was going. Emily Senator plays it into touch, and it'll be a throw for Rhode Island. That goes over the head of Spencer, and we'll do it again. Spencer, the Vermont graduate in 2019. Another player that's been a regular for the squad. As this is played down the line, but it hits the back of Kolpa. That was nearly in there for Aubrey, just a little bit unlucky. Kolpa completed her first season at Penn State, and actually one of the top-scoring first-year players in the country was Kolpa. 7 goals and 3 assists. 5 of those goals coming in substitute appearances. Brunello. Now Quigley, she gets dispossessed. And now Magda Carpenter trying to find an option. You're just joining us here on the National Soccer Network. A goal in the 3rd minute from Ryan Denicourt. That is the difference in this ball game. This is swung all the way to this near side for Sophia Warburton. Warburton to the end line, cut off by McIntosh, and then a little bit of a wrestling match that Warburton comes away from. And it'll be a free kick now for Rhode Island. Referee Kristen Sickle saying that the Sporting Connecticut defender a little bit too aggressive and trying to rip the ball off the ball carrier. Now a set piece for the visitors. It'll be Natalie Zabinskis who will swing this in. Zabinskis, the West Virginia product. We'll see 2 in the wall for Sporting. Teased this one to the near post, took a deflection on the way through, and it's cleared away by Stone, only as far as Warburton. Got shielded off the ball well by Weimer, and she'll play out looking for Souza. Zaccanini now with Weimer. Sporting Connecticut, a team that values possession, building out of the back. Plenty of really sound tactical and technical players within the roster as Souza trying to link up with Senator, cleared away. Strong tackle by Kali Quezada. And Warburton now to nip in. Denicourt, nice turn, trying to play it over the top, but splitting the 2 attackers. Allie Spencer in the area. That goes back to Caitlin Daly, the New Haven product, Norwich, Connecticut native, completed her junior season back in the fall, started every match for the Chargers. Goals against, sub 1.4. Lovely swung ball out to the far channel, and Sporting Connecticut might be in there as Kolpa making that run to the near post, but it just goes past her, and Kazasek is able to take it on the second hop. I saw the trailing runner from Weimer. Kolpa made that run to the near post, but Kelly Quigley not able to link up with either attacker. Daly, though, back to the Sporting Connecticut goalie, part of that New Haven squad that just found out a couple of weeks ago that they're going up to the Division I ranks as formerly the Northeast 10, but in the fall they're going to be playing in the Northeast Conference. So an opportunity for Caitlin and a handful of other players that are within this Sporting Connecticut roster that will be playing Division I soccer in the fall. Zaccanini now through Hinton. That's better from Sporting Connecticut, as this is played over the top looking for Kolpa, but she's in an offside position. The referee will just play on. It goes all the way through to Kazasek. Well, it's a good response, though, from the hosts after going behind early. And still, you never really know what you're going to get from these early season contests with these teams only probably regularly training for the better part of a week, week and a half or so after colleges allow their players to go play for these summer squads. That's why it's so important early on in the season to try and bank together some points and string together some good results while teams are still figuring it out. Just about figuring it out there was Jordan Restivo. Nearly whiffed on the clearance, but an excellent ball out wide. Just unfortunate that it didn't find McNulty. Now Denicourt able to shrug off a couple of defenders. Nearly found Zabinskis. But yeah, that's why it is important if you can get off to a good start, then they're certainly going to be looking good to try and get into the WPSL playoffs. As another ball launched over the top. Kolpa has stayed on side. Doesn't have any help at the moment. Goes back with Quigley, now with 3 in the box. Stone, now Weimer. I'll try to slot that through towards Kolpa. Not a bad idea, and that's a thing with Weimer. Just a tricky player to try and defend because it's impossible to anticipate what she's going to do. Is a player that can have a pop shot or two from 30-some-odd yards out. Loves to play in her forwards. Loves a little 1-2 around the edge of the area. So it's impossible to try and figure out what she's going to do with it. I wouldn't mind it maybe for her in that situation. Of course, it's easier on, retrospectively saying, but test the keeper, see what Kazasek has to offer. Brunello now. Now with Hinton. That's a good pinch through the middle. Now a chance for the visitors, but McIntosh able to step up before it got to McNulty. Weimer once again. Goes with Senator. Flag has stayed down here as Souza was onside. It's cleared away. This will be a throw just by the corner flag. Good ball from Senator trying to play through the lines. Emily, the Oxford, Connecticut native, spent her first couple seasons at Northwestern State University. That's a really strong save. Good hand by Kazasek. Able to top that over the bar. And she had to have a strong right hand onto that as well. It'll be a corner to come, and Sporting Connecticut will play quickly through Senator. Goes back to Brunello. Now Zaccanini. Clips this over the top, headed away first time. Brunello, good step. Her shot block comes to Weimer. Oh, again, that's what I was speaking about with the ability that she has to launch 1 or 2 from distance. Never have to give Tiff a second opportunity. That time just the wrong crossbar. That went off the football goal. But a bit of a warning sighter there for the visitors. And again, going about this early season and still very much trying to figure out how teams are going to play in the sense of their style and their tactics. Set piece is something that you can spend some time on over the part of the early season to get those right, and Sporting Connecticut electing to go with the short variety. That clearance a bit wayward. Quezada now. Zabinskis. McNulty stayed on side, comes now to Denicourt, a little 1-2, nearly coming off. Sporting Connecticut able to get it back to their goalkeeper. Still on, though, for Denicourt. That pass, though, intercepted by Quigley. Kolpa now. And playing as that target woman up top and allowing the rest of the forwards to play off of her. She wanted that ball to be played into the channel, but of course, so early in the match, you don't want to be one-dimensional and predictable. So Sporting Connecticut will just play through Stone. Now it's Zaccanini. The Senator wrestled off the ball. Now McNulty. Does look a little bit like Rhode Island want to play a bit more counter-attacking. They do have a very high line with their defense as well. This is switched. It was intended for Denicourt on this near left flank and never got there. Brunello does well to step through. Now it pops to Souza. Oh, Weimer. Well, she was making a great run, but it wasn't picked out on time. Now Denicourt. Warburton. Sophia, the Johnson and Wales product. And line, low cross that's cut out. And Warburton, outstanding season last year with the Division III outlet. 6 goals and 11 assists. Second team all-conference coming off of the season prior in her freshman year, where she was the GNAC Rookie of the Year. First team in that conference as well, 10 goals and 7 assists. Get a lot of quality soccer in the state of Rhode Island at all the levels. That's why Rhode Island, they can't afford to keep their team pretty much close to home in terms of the type of player that they can get between the college ranks and then the local residents that apply their trade elsewhere. Kolpa now has Stone in an advanced position. Didn't get there. McIntosh ahead. Comes now to Souza. Stone. Kolpa. It's around the corner. Could be in here for Senator, but off her line is Kazasek. That was really well read, but it's lovely football, though, from Sporting Connecticut. Lots of 1- and 2-touch passes and trying to play around and through Rhode Island. Again, with what this squad does, just a lot of technical training during the week. They're not afraid to play in and around tight quarters. And watching some of their games over years past in UWS where they just would slice right through teams. Not to say that they were at a standard where they could just walk around and walk through teams. Some very quality opponents in that league. But with that being said, they're now a little bit of a different level here in WPSL. There's Hinton now been afforded a little space to run into. Zaccanini to the feet of Kolpa. She's got options, can swing it out wide, instead lays it short. Lovely turn for Senator, just showed it a bit too much. Here comes Hinton, but it's cleared away. Only as far as Souza. Goes to Weimer. Just a bit of a heavy touch there. It was an ambitious ball from Tori Souza, but it worked out well. And Sporting Connecticut certainly knocking on the door here after conceding inside the first 3 minutes of the match. Good tackle by Stone. Obviously a player that's such a great facilitator, Christina Stone, but she does a lot of the dirty work off the ball. You know, playing in that pocket, not afraid to get into a tackle. And with her and Zaccanini kind of just splitting time in that position, an interchange, both can go forward, but both happily to just pull the strings out of the back. And that's the other thing about this Sporting Connecticut team. Yes, they are new to this conference and this league, but a group that has been together for a number of seasons, whether it was or is with Sporting Connecticut, or a lot of players came over from the now defunct Connecticut Fusion team that got to the national championship game in UWS back in 2021. These players have been playing together for the last few summers, so there's not a lot of getting to know each other time. It's pretty much you pick up where you left off. Just now the new challenge of trying to figure out new teams in a new league. Stone going to Senator. That's intercepted. Carpenter trying to find an outlet, but to no one in particular. Magda Carpenter, actually a local product out of Lebanon, Connecticut, played her first couple of seasons. The Division II ranks up in the Buffalo area with Damon. 4 goals, 4 assists last year, but the previous year was the East Coast Conference Rookie of the Year. This is down the line looking for Brunello. It's shielded out for a throw. into the lacrosse goal that is perched on the running track here at Xavier High School. Weimer trying to dance through two. Sporting Connecticut asking for a foul, but referee Kristen Sickles says otherwise. Big switch, and Stone overran it, but Rhode Island not able to do much with it. Quigley, did she keep it on? She did not, as the assistant on the far side of the field put the flag up. 21st minute here from Middletown, Connecticut. JJ Duke with you. Thanks for spending your Saturday with us on the National Soccer Network, watching WPSL action. First match for both of these teams, though Sporting Connecticut will turn around rather quickly, and they'll be back in action on Wednesday evening. More on that in a moment. The flag, though, is... Well, for a second there, the assistant put the flag up. I think it might have been overruled, actually, by the center referee, but... By the way, it's out for a goal kick. That was rather strange from the assistant. Flag went up, went down, and just played on. Doesn't really come to much, but yes, anyways, for Sporting Connecticut, they'll be back in action not all that long from now. They'll be on Wednesday evening when they take on a team that they are a bit more familiar with, that being the Albany Rush, also formerly out of United Women's Soccer. That will be Albany's first match of the season, but at least Albany, they'll have an opportunity to go over some game film, but at the same time for Sporting Connecticut, they are pretty well familiar and well versed of what Albany has to offer. That team has been in, or was in UWS for a number of years. A stretching is Souza, nearly getting on the edge of that pass from Weimer, but it goes by her. As Kazasek now will allow her team to get up the field. Throw goes short to Weimer. Quezada wayward. They'll be out for a throw, and it looks like there'll be changes coming now for Rhode Island. You have 9 players on the bench. So Rhode Island electing to use a couple early on in this match. One of those would be Bella Cambio comes onto the field, wears 4, and 13 is Casey Beauregard into the match. Didn't quite see the players that checked off the field across the way. The throw goes short towards Kolpa, able to bring it down. Weimer, able to turn. Weimer trying to slot it through, but the pass was intercepted before it got there. Zaccanini getting a toe on it, but no one was home. This will be a throw, though, right by the corner flag, so this will allow Sporting Connecticut to put on a little bit of a press. Some more changes as Natalie Zabinskis is now gone centrally in that front-running 3. There's Beauregard on the left side of that three-unit forward line. And McNulty has now gone out to the right. This will go all the way back to Kazasek. Had to clear that one. Wasn't quite sure. I think she would have been allowed to pick that up. Nonetheless, finds Allie Spencer. McIntosh to Weimer, trying to turn, but just didn't get enough behind that little flick. Hinton. Comes through to Greta Brunello. Brunello, native of Italy with over 50 appearances with Southern Connecticut State. Former Northeast 10 All-Conference honoree. Is Quigley able to latch onto this? She's got Kolpa in the area, as is Senator. Ball intended for the latter. It's cleared away. Spencer. Liked to put herself right into the corner there. And Sporting, apply a little bit of pressure, but it's deflected away as that Sun comes back out. Bit of a nasty glare, but hey, at least we got through half of the first half before the sun comes back out. But then again, could complain because looking at the forecast on Wednesday, and it's not looking all too pretty on that day. I'm supposed to be calling a college baseball tournament out in Rockland County, New York, and I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting in an empty press box for hours, but that's for another day. As Kazasek will play wide. That's a bit of a dangerous pass that Kolpa is able to intercept. Didn't have much to work with. Souza over the top, looking for Weimer. Just a needed touch from Julianne Ross to intercept at the last moment. Otherwise, Weimer would have been in. Ross, the former Northeastern product, played 85 games for the Huskies and 4 times All-CAA honoree. If she doesn't get a piece of that one, Weimer certainly is in, even though that ball just slightly behind Tiff. Souza. Kolpa once again. Had an option off to her left, and Quigley. It's cleared away out for a throw. Brunello. Stone. Zaccanini. Oh, it's lovely. Quigley with options. Weimer gets a toe to it. It's intended for Kolpa. Comes to Weimer. It's cleared away. McIntosh will be able to keep this on here and plenty of targets to aim for. It's a ball to the back post. Kazasek rises and takes. That's a good take there from Jessica. Trying to find the apex of the flight and was able to take it right before Kolpa was able to get there. That's a good ball into a dangerous area from Kylie McIntosh. Couple of times was garnering all league and all conference accolades in UWS before coming over, well, before the team comes over to WPSL. That over the top looking for Beauregard. It's intercepted. Now Spencer. And Quigley able to read that. It looks like Rhode Island are preparing one sub, and Sporting Connecticut also preparing a couple of substitutions. As it looks like Senator is off. And Mackenzie Johnson onto the field for the first time for the hosts. And immediately involved. That ball slipped through, looking for Kolpa. That's a last-ditch tackle, and needed to be a good one. It's a corner to come for Sporting Connecticut. Well, she's been awfully close as Aubrey Kolpa had that gilt-edged chance in the second minute. Wasn't able to convert on it. But Sporting Connecticut now, they had the short corner routine early in this match. The sun in everybody's eyes. Might be best just to put it into the box and see what happens. It'll be Weimer to do it. To the back post looking for McIntosh, where the header is over the bar. Well, that's the right area. Just, again, unfortunate, but Sporting Connecticut continue to come even closer. Another sub for Rhode Island. As Rhode Island playing it out of the back, Kazasek launch this one long. Shoots by everybody. Kolpa trying to turn the defender, does enough. Laying that off short. Weimer, first time, but Kazasek able to hold and not spill the rebound. Good secure hands as Jessica now a handful of saves here in this first half hour. Haley Ward is the player for Rhode Island that came on from that last stoppage. Also, because the glare has been on and off, didn't actually notice the detailing until just now of the Rhode Island jersey where they've got that kind of gold anchor on the front bottom right. That's outstanding stuff. Actually saw a couple of days ago on Rhode Island's Instagram page where they're able to train at the Rhode Island FC stadium that was constructed prior to the start of the season for the USL Championship squad. And what a facility that is, by the way, as a free kick gets called, a foul on McNulty. I remember watching, it was Rhode Island FC's U.S. Open Cup match against New England Revolution a couple of weeks ago, and I texted the person that's manning the camera off to my left, Matt Bodie. I said, well, that's now a stadium that we have to go visit because it looks spectacular. And I bet for the Rhode Island Rogues players who had a chance to train there a couple of nights ago, getting that great experience, and who knows, maybe down the road could be a future home for the club. But I believe on their social channels they said Providence, I think it was Roger Williams that they'll be playing their home matches for. I could obviously just look and tell you that, as it'll be a throw for the hosts. Yes, home matches at Roger Williams and Providence College. When these two teams meet at the end of the year on July the 5th, that will be at Roger Williams University. Centerville Bank Stadium. It was a great opportunity for them to get a run out there right before the start of the season, as Sporting on the opposite side of the field, they go short. Kolpa trying to get it onto that left, but it's tackled away at the last second. Plenty of black jerseys in and around the area, but it never found another option. Hinton. Johnson. Weimer trying to lay it through towards Kolpa, and she scores! Aubrey Kolpa leveling things at 1, just past a half hour gone here at Xavier High School, and that's exactly what you wanted right there. You've been knocking on the door, finally broke it down, and Sporting Connecticut have leveled things. And that will come in the 32nd minute, canceling out the Ryan Denicourt opener in the third. And Weimer once again in and amongst it with the killer through ball. I said Kolpa, a player that's always in and amongst the goals. Back last season with Penn State when she had 7 of them. Opening up her campaign here in WPSL play with the tally. There's a good finish as well, right into the corner. Kazasek made herself as big as possible, but there was no way of getting to that one. And immediately Sporting Connecticut put the press right back on. McIntosh does well to intercept. Gets a touch from Souza. Kylie has options. Goes to Weimer, but it's cut down. Able to recover. McIntosh got that one all wrong. It'll be out for a goal kick, but you can see the urgency from the hosts right after scoring, looking for a second. And Kazasek for the first time asking for everyone to get up the field, and good awareness there from the goalie for Rhode Island, recognizing that Sporting trying to play with that high press. At least take yourself a little bit away from danger by just clearing your lines. But as I say that, Souza able to win it. Decent first touch by Kolpa, has options, tries to put it onto her left, slots it through. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, not the worst idea in the world. Is that Kara Jordan? I think it was, yeah. So Kara Jordan coming onto the field for a substitution, another former UConn player. Just no one was in the area. Still the move plays on. That was looking for Johnson, cleared away. That's really well done by Stone. Again, that's going on to what I was saying earlier about how Christina, she can pull the strings, but she'll do a lot of work from that central defensive midfield role. Even just this simple of change of position to shield a ball, then just goes back home. Little did she know she wins that head towards Souza. Back at Lancaster, good drop of the shoulder. Lancaster, another former all-conference selection in this league a couple of years ago. In fact, all-region as well. I'll tell you what, this Rhode Island program, they have a lot of quality and have had a lot of quality come through this team over the last couple of years. Looking over their social media channels prior to today's match, 3 players from their last couple of seasons now playing professionally. Get to that in a moment as the goal scorer Kolpa looking for Souza. And half a mind one to the other, not able to connect. Rhode Island, a couple of players that have played recently for them, now playing professionally. Jada Bedoya, former UConn and West Virginia player, now playing with the Carolina Ascent in the USL Super League. Then Claire Gagne, who was part of that championship-winning North Carolina side back in the fall, now with the KC Current. Brooke Jenkins playing overseas in Portugal. I also had Parker Roberts on their squad last year, ex-Orlando Pride player. So the organization doing a really nice job sourcing good talent and integrating them with the younger players, trying to not only help develop those players, but also keep the standards really high. Brunello. Pass intercepted. And after that bright start from the visitors, definitely have been behind the 8 ball a little bit. Haven't seen too many touches in good areas for Hannah McNulty. As Cambio trying to turn on Souza. It should be a throw for Sporting, and it is. It's Julia Hargraves that just had that last touch, number 19. So, and players coming in and out. Also, Gianni Rebelli wears 28 also onto the field as well. So Rhode Island changing a lot of their squad that started this match. Now it looks like Sporting Connecticut will change a couple of players. I see Tori Souza coming or heading over to the sidelines, as is the goal scorer Kolpa. Abby Burgess coming on. Just saw 29 enter the field. Burgess, the Central Connecticut State product. 2-sport athlete I saw. In addition to playing soccer, also track and field, a part of the jumps team for CCSU. McIntosh. Zaccanini. Julia Rosecki also came onto the field for the hosts, wears 47, as it comes now to Haley Ward. Chance for her to drive forward here, but a good tackle by Zaccanini just to stop the progress. Lancaster going home. Kasasek already with a handful of saves here in this first half. That should be a throw for Sporting Connecticut. They're not going to wait around. Just unlucky there, as the referee said, well, there's a second ball onto the field. Can't have the multi-ball system in play on the field, so otherwise Weimer would have been in. Zaccanini, Weimer. Oh, it's a lovely piece of skill there. Nearly came off. Intercepted at the last moment. Now Ward bypasses one defender. McNulty was asking for it, but the flag will come up. That's just a frustrating one there for any forward, because you've been working so hard off the ball for Hannah now, probably the last 20 minutes or so, and haven't really gotten much service going to her, and now all of a sudden have one chance and straying just offside. Again, a lot of communication between Stone and McIntosh to step up. On the opposite side, for the first time in a while, Caitlin Daly with a touch of the ball in goal for Sporting Connecticut. And absolutely nothing she could have done about that goal that she conceded, though. Nearly gave it away as McNulty. That's when you know a forward's still locked in, because they're hunting down any scrap, including the ones that are half touches away from the goalkeeper. It was just a rocket off the foot of Denacor. There was absolutely no chance for the Sporting Connecticut goalie to pick out. There was a step-over finish as well onto the right foot. Not one of those that he curled into a corner. It was just ripped right over the keeper as McNulty gets it out wide. And that's a good tackle once again by Stone. Rabielli out wide. There's 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Well, it's been an entertaining first half of this first contest for both of these squads. The referee overruled the assistant on the far side. It'll be a Sporting Connecticut throw. Actually, they're going to bring that back for a free kick. Okay. Spotted something that we didn't see all the way across. Zaccanini now with Hinton. Good touch away by Burgess, and now she can go through with Stone. Over the top looking for Johnson, headed down. Burgess trying to collect the seconds, and it's cleared away. Beauregard. Rabielli going short. Now back to Ross. Nice little step through for the former Northeastern product. A little layoff, but Hinton was aware to it. Had to be, otherwise it could have been a dangerous moment for Rhode Island. Johnson. Strong carry through. Oh, the dummy. Maybe might not have been on there. Now Rhode Island can break. Comes down to Haley Ward. She's got options. Ward. Unwind to McNulty. Just Beauregard in the area. Swings towards her in a dangerous position. Beauregard got to it, but only could put it wide. You don't mind that service, though. That's the worst for a goalkeeper. They call it the corridor of uncertainty because Daly, half in one mind thinking, do I go and get this, or the other just stay home? She elected for the latter, but Beauregard just not able to get her foot around it. That's a sign back that certainly head coach Brandon Iannelli would be happy to see from his team, especially after spending so much time on the defensive end. But still generating a threat or two going forward. Weimer dropping in a little bit deeper now, goes with Zaccanini. Rosicki trying to get it out wide. Gets around a defender. A chance now. Ball played through to Weimer, but she let it go. Well, she thought that she had someone running behind her, but instead they'll be just out for a goal kick as Burgess kind of held up her run, thinking that there was going to be another little 1-2 played around the area. About a minute and a half left to go here in this first half. We'll see how much time the referee puts on. A couple of goals, number of substitutions. McNulty able to take the flick. Cambio now. Not a bad area over the top. Kind of took an awkward bounce there that Hinton's able to recover as Beauregard nearly got onto that one. It goes back home to Daly. Good step by Julia Rosicki, and now trying to get it into the channel. It's a good area. Burgess able to run onto it. Has to do it on her own here. Still she goes. Squares it across, but no one was there. Still not out of danger, though. Gets cut out by Zaccanini. Plays it into a good area, but Kazasek was aware to it. And she'll now play quickly to Haley Ward. as we're into the 45th minute here. McNulty trying to turn. That's wasteful there, as this will go all the way back to Daly. I think I saw 3. We don't have the big board across the way, but at least keep the time up here. Brunello given a little bit of space to carry forward, but the pass was cut out. Again, look at Stone just nipping in and winning it back. Zaccanini with time and space. Stone once again. Oh, it's a good ball through the channels from Jordan to find Zaccanini. The 2 former Husky teammates linking up. Jordan once again. Trying to get it back to Zaccanini. It is cleared away. Only as far as Hinton. Move still stays on. Jordan. Arsiecki. Now to Stone. Looking over the top for Weimer. The flag came up, but the referee says play on. Good area from the 2. Stone just put it into a space where Weimer only could get onto it, but the assistant deemed that she was just a little bit ahead of the play. So I think we're in the second of 3 extra minutes here in this first half. That's a wayward ball intercepted well by Jordan. Weimer gives it back to Kara, who's able to get there just and keeps it on. 2 in the area. Squares it across looking for Zaccanini. It's cleared away. Now McIntosh. I've seen her hit him from distance before, electing not to. So we now enter the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Stone over the top. It's a beautifully weighted ball. Weimer rounds the keeper, and Sporting Connecticut are in front. That's a brilliant finish from Tiffany Weimer. Registered an assist on the first, finishes off on the second. And literally on the stroke of halftime, it's Sporting Connecticut 2, Rhode Island 1. Well, that will give the hosts all sorts of confidence going into halftime, knowing that, again, they have created a number of chances, been so dangerous in front of goal. And just a brilliant finish, and leaving Kazasek was the Rhode Island defense out to dry. And Weimer, who's rounded keepers pretty much for the entirety of her striking career, about as simple of a finish you can ask for. We are now past the 3rd minute of stoppage time here. Referee maybe just playing on a final few seconds or so. Checks her watch. Move will be played to completion here as it's switched across. Brings down by Ward, who gets a look at it, wastes it, and that, in fact, is it for the first half, as there was a chance right at the end for Rhode Island, but Haley Ward not able to keep it on frame. That will send us to the intermission. But after 45 minutes here from Xavier High School in Middletown, Connecticut, it's Sporting Connecticut 2, Rhode Island Rogues FC 1. I'll step away from commentary and we'll rejoin you in about 15 minutes here on the National Soccer Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, halftime score is Sporting Connecticut 2, Rhode Island Rogues 1.
Well, welcome back here to Xavier High School in Middletown, Connecticut. JJ Duke with you. You're watching a presentation of WPSL Soccer here on the National Soccer Network. Well, it was a fast start for the visiting Rhode Island Rogues FC, getting a goal in the third minute. An absolute cracker of a finish from Ryan Denecor coming down the left side, couple of step overs, cutting it onto her right and ripping it over then starting goalie Caitlin Daly. And then Sporting Connecticut basically took over the match after that point. They kept knocking on the door, and eventually blew it down as Aubrey Kolpa was played through by Tiffany Weimer, who slotted it past Jessica Kazasek to tie it. And then literally on the stroke of halftime, Tiffany Weimer latched onto a ball over the top from Christina Stone, rounded Kazasek, and put it away. And that is how Sporting Connecticut lead 2-1 here at halftime. The two squads will change ends. Do have one change that we could tell you about. New goalkeeper in for Sporting Connecticut. Emma Malone now is in between the pipes for the hosts, and Malone coming off of an outstanding season for UNC Greensboro out of the SoCon with the goals against at 1.14 and a save percentage at 75%. Had 5 clean sheets there this season. And actually also, how about this for a goalkeeper? Registered an assist against Eastern Tennessee State. That ETSU program, by the way, traditionally one of the mid-major powers of the South. That has had a program that has had just a litany of international stars play a couple of years of college ball. Actually, one of my favorite stories in covering college at the time is now long-term Austrian midfielder Sarah Zadrazil. Ended up playing there for a couple of years, loved it, and that basically gave her a platform to go play a little bit here in the U.S. I think she was on trial with Portland Thorns for a bit and then has been playing overseas. To my knowledge, I believe she's still with Bayern Munich. That could change. It's been a minute since I've caught up there. But, yeah, you have a lot of random internationals that go to that school. Anyways, Emma, the Wallingford, Connecticut native, saw her team get knocked out in the quarterfinals of the SoCon tournament, but now is in between the pipes here for the second half as we're ready to go. Rhode Island going from left to right on your screen. They're in the blue jerseys, and Sporting Connecticut in their all blacks. And thankfully, at least for a second or two, that cloud comes across here at the stadium field at Xavier High School, at least for a moment. And if you're seeing the glare at home, well, we're basically looking into the exact same thing. And one of us forgot to put their sunscreen on before the game started, and that could be a problem coming up in a couple of days' time when I'm supposed to be on TV. But that's, again, another matter that we'll deal with. That's a rookie mistake on my part. So Rhode Island, again, be interesting to see how they come out to start this second half. Again, they were the bright team to begin the match with Denecor with that outstanding finish. They got Hannah McNulty, who's wearing the captain armband and the center forward of that attacking trio in a couple of times. And then basically from minute 13 to 47, it was all Sporting Connecticut. McNulty hardly had a touch in the attacking third. And then all of a sudden after that, or right before and then right after that second goal came in, Rhode Island started to knock on the door and create some half chances for themselves as Kolpa trying to head that on towards Tori Souza. It's intercepted, though Weimer able to recover, bypasses one, nearly got a second, but Rhode Island will recover. But as I was speaking about in the early part of this contest, in summer league play, WPSL, NPSL on the men's side, if you can put points on the board early on the season when some teams are still very much trying to figure it out, you are in business. And that's what Rhode Island did last season in a year where they finished second in the Northeastern Conference as that ball over the top looking for Weimer is cut out, but it was left for Kolpa. She's going 1-on-4, waiting for options, gives it to Souza. The curling effort is right at the goalkeeper. But yeah, Rhode Island last year picked up back-to-back wins and emphatic victories, beating New York Shockers 5-1 up in the capital region of New York State, then knocking off Merrimack Valley Hawks 4-1, but then they lost to the Clarkstown SC. That was a team that went perfect in this conference last year. Zaccanini picks it up, trying to slide it through towards Kolpa. It's cut away. And then it just kind of, they call in other sports playing about 500 ball. That's basically what Rhode Island did. They had a really tough loss, a draw to Merrimack Valley. It was 2-2. and that was after they beat Force FC New York, who are no longer involved in this conference, on aggregate 9-0 over 2 matches. But by that point, that draw to Merrimack Valley and then losing to Clarkstown Soccer Club, that's where it wasn't to be. And Clarkstown ended up winning the conference last year after it was Rhode Island knocking off Clarkstown in the East Region Final back in 2023. That pass is cut away. Kolpa, a good read. Doesn't have much to work with at the moment as Quigley short. Kelly looking for options. Goes to Weimer with a goal and assist in that first half. Tiffany to the end line. She's got 3 in the area. Weimer tries to nutmeg the defender. And it's cleared away. Zaccanini just getting a toe there to win it back. Albeit only just for a moment. It does stop the break as Allie Spencer loses out, but the referee calls a foul on Greta Brunello for Sporting Connecticut. They'll be back over to the visitors. Jordan Restivo will start things out of the back. Wearing the 25 jersey for Rhode Island. Restivo, a Johnson & Wales grad of the year 2023, the program record holder for goals with 62 of them, 47 assists, and 171 career points. Was a first-team All-American Division III in 2022 and the Conference Player of the Year, and she led the country in assists and points. Now playing at that right back position is Rhode Island trying to make inroads. Kylie McIntosh sending it out for a throw. And again, I spoke about how well constructed this roster for Rhode Island is, and a really good culture of soccer out in in Rhode Island. Ball over the top, but to no one in particular. Malone will chase it down. The rest of this league, by the way, the other members of the conference, Merrimack Valley Hawks, who finished 3rd in the conference last year with a 3-win, 4-loss, 1-draw record. The New York Shockers had a really challenging season last year, just 1 win in 8 played. They joined these 2 squads, Albany Rush and Kingston Capitals. And Kingston in New York, they'll play at Dietz Stadium, the same stadium that the Kingston Stockade play in previous, well, I should actually just say ex-NPSL, playing in the League of Clubs circuit. With Dietz Stadium going over a long renovation process. I think it was the better part of 2 calendar years, but a lot of upgrades to that facility. And for those unfamiliar, especially when the Stockade were in their heyday in NPSL, man, that place can provide a good atmosphere. And actually, when both of these teams will go up to the New York Shockers, the Afram Sports Park, that's another place where you're going to get a great atmosphere as Afram Nisai and the group over there. They do a great job advertising the Shockers, both on the men's and the women's side. It went up there last year when the Hartford City FC team in NPSL played their conference championship game against the Shockers, and a better part of 1,700 that are at that field. And kind of talking to some of the folks in the region, and because of the fact that unlike in this area where you have a number of outstanding professional, both minor league and on the full time, you have the Connecticut Sun, the WNBA, but you don't really have too many options to view sports. We'll get to that in a moment, as now Quigley has gotten loose inside the area. Has 3 to aim for. Zaccanini let that go for Kolpa, who's able to rescue. Gets a shot off, and it's deflected away. Stone. Christina trying for the ball to Souza, who scores. Oh, it's a brilliant finish there from Tori Souza. Christina Stone picking up her 2nd assist of the game, and it's now 3-1 to Sporting Connecticut in the 53rd minute. Oh, I thought for a second there that it might have been a little bit of a 1-2, but Souza, an outstanding and prolific goal scorer in her own right, you always bet the house on her that she would finish, and puts that away comfortably. And Stone with a pair of assists on the day as well. Again, the player that had 20 plus of them last fall for U Hart. And now Sporting Connecticut, again, going down early in this match, but proving that sometimes if you score too early, that'll only make them upset. And the hosts have put away 3 here in the last, 50 minutes of the match. A chance immediately for McNulty. It's blocked away. As Rhode Island now trying for a bit of a response of their own. Oh, lovely ball around Magda Carpenter. It's 3-2. Oh, it's a great finish from Carpenter. The keeper coming out, pass ladled off to her, and she put it away. There might have been, 30, 40 seconds between the goals. Well, they always say you're most susceptible to conceding a goal right after you score one, and Sporting Connecticut's defense broached there. There's a lovely ball lifted over the top, and just put away ever so well. I'll have to just look that one back just to see who had the assist on that. But here comes Rhode Island immediately again off the kickoff. It's quickly tried to save it, but goes out. Hinton. Souza. Well, Weimer is in an offside position, so she'll just let that one go. Again, a brilliant response there from the visitors after going down 2 goals, and it seemed like Sporting Connecticut were in cruise control, but able to get themselves right back into it. Also, it was McNulty that had the assist. That was a brilliant cushion ball back. Yeah, it's a credit to her as well, because I spoke about how the fact for forwards, it can be really challenging, especially when you haven't gotten a ton of service, as the keeper able to fall onto that one. Challenging when you haven't gotten much going your way, and then all of a sudden you might have one half chance and it's not taken, but McNulty with a great little cushion touch, just playing it around the corner, and a good finish by Magda Carpenter. McIntosh trying to let that run, which she does. It'll be out for a throw. A free kick whistled, and it'll be possession back over to Sporting. So anyways, just kind of finishing up that train of thought about the New York Shockers region. So because of the fact that there's really not too many professional teams, whether it's full-time, major, or minor league, what the Shockers do is they treat it as such. You buy season tickets for both the men and the women. They have a bunch of exhibition matches in the build-up to the season, and in addition to what they have up there, or just you have a lot of adult leagues in addition to youth leagues. So, yeah, they build a really nice community, and I look forward. I told this to Tiff Weimer when Sporting Connecticut joined the league. I said, hey, you guys are going to have a day when you go up to Albany towards the end of the season, because you're going to have a crowd, really well-educated crowd that is passionately behind this program and their program, and they treat it as such. So it can be a good opportunity for them. We'll see the Shockers here in the last home match of the season for Sporting Connecticut. That will be on July the 1st. And now, once again, the center referee, Kristen Sickle, overruling the assistant. Zaccanini thought that it was a throw for the hosts, but instead back over to Rhode Island. Kulpa chasing as Julianne Ross will have to go back home to Jessica Kazasek, who stayed on. Elise Broderick is the reserve goalie for Rhode Island, the Cleveland State University product. Zabinskis gets caught there. Kulpa takes it away. Has Quigley with her. Still has Quigley. Now goes that way. There's two in the box. But the offside flag came up, and I think there was that little hesitation there from Aubrey, not just playing Quigley through first time. Unlucky in that situation, but chance that goes bagging for Sporting Connecticut as we're coming up on the hour mark here. And it was 2-1 at halftime. Sporting Connecticut made it 3-1 in the 53rd minute from Tori Souza, and then immediately Magda Carpenter pulled it back to 3-2 less than a minute after. Emily Senator trying to carry through. Quigley steps in. Brunello goes to Weimer. The pass is a bit behind her. Brunello able to stay forward. Heads to Weimer. Now Kulpa trying to turn. Cheeky little back heel. If that came off, it would have been something spectacular. And there'll be a foul. Zaccanini gets called for going through Allie Spencer. And Rhode Island not waiting around. That's a good ball into a dangerous area. Chance for Denicourt. And it goes wide. Well, Ryan Denicourt scored a screamer in the early stages of this match. Nearly leveled it. The brilliant idea from, I believe it was Quezada. Yeah, it was. Kylie Quezada. Just clipping it into an area, splitting the center backs. Well, Sporting Connecticut thought to themselves that this game was done and dusted at 3-1. Rhode Island are trying to make something of it here. So again, going back to the points aspect, you want to obviously hold serve at home, but if you can pick up road points, then it's going to be even more of a premium. Again, in this WPSL setup, there is no quote-unquote, well, at least in this conference, there's no conference final. It's the winner, or the team that has the most points in the regular season that advances to the East region. There are other conferences that have split divisions, so they do play off. But the team with the most points at the end of the regular season sees their season live on into the second week of July as Kulpa trying to get around. That's a brilliant tackle from Ross. Julianne Ross, the standout from Northeastern, coming through. Otherwise, Aubrey Kulpa was in with just the goalie in front of her. Quezada lost it. Quezada out of Holy Cross by way of Cumberland, Rhode Island. Now a chance here for Sporting to put a little bit of a press on. This is what we saw pretty early after they went 1-0 down. Already a team in Sporting Connecticut that are so comfortable with the ball at their feet, but they're not afraid to put numbers up the field, something that we've seen from both of these teams. They're also not afraid to have a high line of defense. Two teams with a good portion of their squads coming back from previous seasons as Weimer able to cushion this out wide to Kulpa. Flag has stayed down. Kulpa does really well to keep it on, finds Kelly Quigley. Weimer leaves it for Stone. Christina cuts it across. It's intercepted at the last moment. Well, Christina already with a couple of assists today, trying to get herself a hat trick of them. Could have almost been a great move. Quigley now. Put it into an area, but no one was attacking it. Senator maybe the closest, and McIntosh missed it. Now a chance here for the visitors to break. Just only McNulty up forward. Denicourt had to wait. And Hinton comfortable with that clearance. The way that this game has been played pretty openly, it feels like there's going to be a number of chances for both of these teams before we're all done and dusted here. Normally you'd start to hear myself give cliches like maybe wasting a chance so late on, but you feel like for both of these squads there's probably a combined half dozen good looks left in this game. This is played over the top, a dangerous area for Souza, but just a bit too much purchase behind that ball. But just also knowing the firepower that both of these teams have in their arsenal. In the league alone last year, 13 tallies for Hannah McNulty as she's played through here. The flag has stayed down. Then you've also seen Denicourt already score one, then a couple other dangerous moments. Now the referee's going to bring this one back for a foul on McNulty. I think the question is, who do we have to talk to get like 100-foot-high wall to block that sun off to our far right? I almost ask this at every place I go to where the press box position is in a place where the sun sets. First question would be, why is it not on the other side? But, again, these are questions that are above my payroll, or my pay grade, if you will. It's a good tackle from Senator. She goes out wide. Weimer scoops it through towards Senator. Trying to cut it back. No one in the area, but it pops out to Stone. To Weimer. And it's cleared away. Let's see how many black jerseys, though, in and around the area. Weimer going to ground there, and she stayed down at least for the moment. Only now Weimer just getting back to her feet as this is clipped into an area, but a bit too much for McNulty. It's a little bit of a sign for concern. I just saw Tiff there make a signal over the Sporting Connecticut bench. One would have to hope that it's just I'm okay. Quigley into the channel, but a bit too much for Culpa. As Ross will go back home. And these two teams will meet at the end of the season up in Rhode Island. It's a good step by Stone, by the way. Weimer now might have a pop from distance. Instead tries to place it into the top corner. Can't say the lob was on because Kasicek was very much on the line. Yeah, so that game between these two teams, the reverse fixture, will be the last week of the season on July the 5th. 4 p.m. kickoff set to be held at Roger Williams University. As that'll be one of two homes that Rhode Island will call this season, the other being Providence. That's where their first home match will be 1 week from today against Merrimack Valley. Hinton thought about going home for a second. Culpa has options as Brunello's gone forward, but she's going to do it on her own. Culpa squares it across, and it's cleared away at the last moment. A needed tackle from Sophia Warburton getting back from her left back position just to get enough of it to disrupt Souza. That was a really good chance, though, for Sporting. Didn't seem like it was much in it, but eventually it came to be. As Kasicek will once again ask to get everyone forward. The next time Sporting are home are on Wednesday evening, 7:30 scheduled kickoff here at Xavier High School. That's against Albany Rush. Culpa. Oh, it's lovely as Weimer gets it from Quigley. Culpa bounces off a couple of tackles, tries to return it back to Weimer. Oh, it's a bad giveaway, and Tiffany pounces. Yeah, you can't give Tiff Weimer those sorts of spaces to allow her to attack. And it's now 4-2 to Sporting Connecticut. Just about half of the second half still to go here. And Weimer's got herself a couple. Well, again, I saw Tiff after that kind of reach down. She had a moment where she slid and was very slow to get up. She's not moving all that fast. Maybe 68 minutes a day might be done for her anyways. In fact, giving the referee a fist bump, and that's going to be it for her. But a productive day nonetheless, with a couple of goals to set the tone for her team, and Sporting Connecticut lead 4-2 here. Okay, so I'm judging now with the clouds coming in. I think that should be good enough as I see the floodlights start to come on. So sunglasses off, actual glasses on, and let's hope I don't make a mistake. And now Sporting Connecticut making a number of substitutions. Kara Jordan comes onto the field. Abby Burgess back on, and also Mackenzie Johnson in as well. Brunello with a good cutout, and it goes to Kara Jordan. Coming off the bench today is Kara, the Cromwell, Connecticut native, UConn graduate. Annalise Zabinskis able to hold that on against Jordan. Just puts it into an area, and Souza calmly takes it down. It's a good ball out wide, but Kara lets that run. And there was actually a touch on that, so it will be throw to Sporting Connecticut. But Jordan, quality career for her with the Huskies, 65 games played. Second team Big East in her final season in the 2023 campaign. 5 goals and 3 assists. One of a handful of UConn players on this roster. This is pumped over the top, looking for Burgess, who's able to get there. Jordan has gone forward. Little 1-2. Burgess, not a bad effort, just goes wide. A bit of a pop shot there from Abby Burgess, the CCSU product. 4 goals in her final season with the team. Again, Sporting Connecticut making wholesale changes after the Weimer second goal in the 68th minute. Now Rhode Island are going to be making a couple of changes as well with only 20 minutes left to go. 19 now. Well, the assistant said changes can be made, but Rhode Island says, no, let's see this phase out, then we'll make the alterations. Oh, it's a heavy touch, and now Johnson takes it away. She's got options to either side, slips it through to Kolpa. 3 in the middle to square it across, and it splits all of them. Well, the idea was right from Aubrey Kolpa, just somehow that ball missed all 3 targets going forward. Now those changes will happen for Rhode Island as Quezada and Spencer will check off. I think we also see Gianni Rabielli come on after the goal for the visitors. Haley Ward was one of those players that came on during that last stoppage. She had that chance right at the stroke of halftime, literally the last kick of the balls. Jordan skips past one, nearly got past a second. It's a crunching tackle from Julianne Ross for a throw. Ward was pretty active when she came onto the field. The Assumption University product just wrapped up her senior season back in the fall. Second team NE10 selection as Brunello overshoots the mark looking for Souza at the back post. It's an industrious run down that left channel. This, though, will be a Sporting Connecticut throw, and Rhode Island not all that pleased about that decision. I think that was Warburton that carried that ball about a good 40 yards up the field. And part of the game now is you have to have those attacking outside backs basically being part of the offense, and Warburton playing at that left back position, carried forward. That's a great ball looking for Jordan. The flag has stayed down, and she adds another to Sporting Connecticut's tally. Kara Jordan finding the back of the net. It's now 5 for the hosts here with just about a quarter hour left to go. And surely now that's all 3 points sewn up. There's a great ball over the top, and Jordan just pouncing on that one. I'm going to go see back who clipped that ball over the top. I think it might have been McIntosh, actually. And the beauty of watching it here on the National Soccer Network is it can dial it up on the phone, and we could just scroll back a few paces and then all of a sudden see who's the one that played it over the top. We have throw for Sporting Connecticut right in front of the Rhode Island bench. Kazasek had a couple of good saves in that first half, but it's been more quality finishing from Sporting Connecticut here in the second half. It was Kylie McIntosh with that ball over the top. And I've seen her in the past. She has the ability to score from distance. A wand of a right foot, which is something that you don't often see from a center back, or in this case, the right side of a three-back system. Goodness, that's just watching that back fully now. That's a 45-yard diagonal over the top, played only one player that can get it. And I've had the privilege of watching Kylie over a number of years between UWS and here now, obviously with Sporting Connecticut, and 2014 graduate of Marist College, a player that shined for the Red Foxes over all those years. This ball is played over the top. Kazasek is there in time. I think 2014 grad. Anyways, a multi-time MAC honoree. She's been garnering league accolades, whether it was in UWS or likely soon to be in WPSL, because it's still going on, and it almost seems like every year she gets better. And sometimes that just truly happens over the years, that you learn more about yourself, not only how you play the game, but your tactical and technical awareness and the players that are playing around you as well. And McIntosh is as good defensively as she is offensively, is good for a couple of goals and assists every year. This will be a throw for Sporting Connecticut right in front of us here. Kara Jordan, who scored the last goal, will throw it in towards Mackenzie Johnson. Now with Christina Stone, who has 2 assists today. And 2 goals for Tiffany Weimer, 1 each for Tori Aubrey Kolpa, and then most recently Kara Jordan. Rhode Island led 1-0 past the half-hour mark. They got the goal in the 3rd minute from Ryan Denacor. But just once Sporting Connecticut got the offensive engine going, they were not going to let up. This Rhode Island team, who, by the way, WPSL does power rankings for all the 4 geographical regions, and Rhode Island was ranked 10th in this East region. As the first test on goal covered up for Emma Malone. That was Julia Hargraves with the effort, but perhaps Sporting Connecticut might be finding themselves within that power rankings for Week 3. Technically, we are in Week 2 of the 2025 WPSL season. And with the Sporting Connecticut playing 3 times in a span of 9 days, early points on the board, get some results, and do it with the style that they are capable of, are definitely going to be a force in this league. And a couple of years ago, got to the UWS semifinals. That was in 2023, lost to the Michigan Jaguars 4-2. But a lot of these players, they were on that Connecticut Fusion team that got to the UWS finals in 2021 and lost to the Santa Clarita Blue Heat. And I mean, if there's a definition of a team that basically was now, I mean, you fast forward 4 years, that's just about a fully professional side. You have the Thompson sisters who were playing on that team at that time, a number of other professionals. I think Lauren Sesselman, ex-Canadian international, was on that team as well. There's a driving run out wide to Kolpa. There's 3 in the box to aim for. A lot of that squad from that year now with the Sporting Connecticut side and just have gotten it better together. As the flag has stayed down here for Jordan. Heavy touch, though, has to recover it over by the corner flag. Squares it across. It's cleared away, first time of asking by Lancaster, Becca Lancaster. And it looks like Sporting Connecticut are preparing, dare I say, hockey line style substitution, 5 on, 5 off. Game 7 tonight, I think, right? Between the Leafs and the Panthers? Yeah. My younger me would be absolutely hating myself trying to root for another Original Six team as a Rangers fan, but I'm kind of here for the fact that the Leafs are making a run. It's been forever, right? Well, it took them 2 decades just to win a playoff series. Might as well. Then again, you also can't root for a team that knocked you out in the Eastern Conference Finals last year in the Panthers. So, yeah, I guess I'm justified. And then go Jets go. Anyways, hockey talk for another time is, trying to figure out if 5 on, for Sporting Connecticut, and now you're seeing a number of changes come in late for Rhode Island. Seeing Abby Johnson come on for Sporting. In fact, that's where the ball is pinged in towards, but Jessica Kazasek able to recover. And I think this is also part and parcel for Sporting, knowing that they're going to be playing in a couple of days again, try to get some players off their feet. With the amount of players for this club, they're beyond their college days, so haven't played a game, at least in terms of this standard of competition, since last summer. Then turning around playing twice in a 5-day span. You have to make sure that you can manage the legs out well. And then for the college players that are coming off their spring season, getting them ready for their fall campaigns. Yeah, it's all just kind of a mix and match type thing. And also, it's what Sporting Connecticut have is this is clicked in off the free kick. Sporting have a second team as well that competes in the second division in WPSL. So you have players that impress at that level. Then you have an opportunity to step up to the first team level. And what Matt Cameron and Tiff Weimer have done in developing this program on the women's side has been nothing short of outstanding. Just the depth and the quality. And that's kind of the thing. I mean, you're talking about a organization that's very focused on their technical development. But the fact that you have so many players that you can dive into for your talent pool and you don't see the levels drop at all, that's a scary thing. Not every organization can claim that. As Lily McFadden, who wears 36, gets whistled for a foul. Now looking across, the only players that I don't think have come off the field in this game would be two of the 3 center backs. and Kylie McIntosh and Jessica Hinton. I think did Christina Stone come off? Yeah, she did. So her day is done, going about 80 some odd minutes or so. There's Allie Spencer, who came off the field, now back on. She gets clipped, and it'll be a free kick now for Rhode Island. Goal difference also an important part as well. So while the scoreline is a 3-goal deficit, you still want to try and chip away and get something back. It could just be a consolation, but at least you can take something on the road. Don't want to be going with 0 points to start the season and a -3. Foul inside the box. Goes back over to the hosts. And Julia Rosicki is also back on the field as well. As that pass under hit to her and intercepted. Now Denacor off with Spencer. Not a bad area, you know. A little collision there. The referee is going to wave that away as McIntosh, just good strength. As Malone will play out of the back with McIntosh, and again, 80 some odd minutes in and still stepping by, dropping the shoulder. Beating players. It's good strength by Burgess, and she's got options. Plays it ahead, looking for Johnson. That's a needed touch, though, from Bella Cambio. Had to be there because otherwise Abby Johnson's through on goal. The WPI product. 4 goals in the freshman season last year. And again, that's talking about the depth that I was saying. 20-player roster, and you can still bring players on that have had success at their college programs. And the level just doesn't drop, as Jordan, though, able to recycle that, does ever so well. Looking to square it ahead for Mackenzie Johnson. Cleared away. Taya Gambardella, wears 64. Her first action. Mackenzie Johnson with 5 minutes left to go in the 90. Rosicki, 1-2. Not a bad idea. Spencer. I could see for a second in the eyes of Kara Jordan. She wanted to line that tackle up, but then thought better of it. Another industrious type player. Oh, that nearly came off. Cut out, though, by Ross, who looks like she's going to be going the full 90 today. And at least as far as I know, because there have been some rolling substitutions. Center backs trading passes. Now here comes Hinton on a bit of a run. The idea was there, looking for Mackenzie Johnson, but just too much on it. And start to see the fatigue set in just a little bit here. And warm day as well. And that's just clear to safety, and it'll be out for a throw. That will be a foul, yeah. You see the little hesitation there from Kristen Sickle. Having to think about it for a second, but it was right in front of the referee, so another free kick to come. And this is where, if you've worked on something on the training ground in the limited time that you've had in the build-up to this opening match, and pull one right here. It'll be Jordan to clip this in. Looking for McIntosh. Tell you what, actually, where Kasasek's starting position was almost past her far post. And if Kylie gets anything onto that and directs it towards goal, that could have been something. There's a change with about 3 minutes left to go. There's Riley Trudeau coming off the field for Rhode Island. And Hannah McNulty is going to see out the final few minutes after getting a bit of a breather. And McNulty with the assist on the second goal for Rhode Island. That was in the 54th minute to make it 3-2 as she cushioned a ball over the top for Magda Carpenter, or I guess around the corner, but it was over the top of the last defender, and Carpenter able to rocket it to the near post. Chance out for Denicourt, but goes back to Malone. Good shielding. And it was a flying start to this game for Rhode Island, getting a goal in the 3rd minute from Ryan Denicourt, but then a goal in the 32nd minute from Aubrey Kolpa, then Tiff Weimer getting her first of 2 on the stroke of halftime. Tori Souza made it 3-1 in the 53rd minute. Then that goal from Carpenter less than a minute after made it 3-2, but then goals from Weimer and Jordan 6 minutes apart gave us a scoreline that we have it. But Allie Spencer's gotten in, but drags it wide. It was a good move, though, from Rhode Island, getting themselves going forward, just ultimately not keeping it on frame. I also wonder how much time the referee is going to put on here for second half stoppage, because we have had 4 goals in it, plus the amount of substitutions. I would imagine that there will be a little bit of time added on. Oh, foul gets called on Rhode Island. That looked like Carpenter got fouled in the process, but it'll be Sporting Connecticut free kick right in front of us here. And it's Kylie McIntosh who sprung Kara Jordan free over the top for the 5th goal for the hosts. Takes it. Oh, nutmeg from Burgess and then gets upended. Well, they do say ball or player, but not both. And that, we'll just leave it at that. It'll be a free kick now for Sporting Connecticut as we're going to hit the 90th minute. Well, actually, we're in the 90th minute. We're going to hit now. Stoppage time. McIntosh. It's not a bad area. No, it goes all the way through. Oh, Taya Gambardella. I don't know if she saw that one cleanly, though. Kind of took a heavy touch going over the last defender. It's a great ball from McIntosh, who then recovers and goes back home to Malone. Did not see a signal from either the referee or the 4th referee how much time we're going to be playing. Probably have to imagine it's got to be 2 to 3 minutes, since we had probably the same amount of subs in the first half and less goals and played nearly 4 minutes. A free kick now just inside the attacking half of Rhode Island. McIntosh rising to meet it. Ball flicked on that Malone will take. Again, the next time that Sporting Connecticut will be at home will be on Wednesday to take on Albany. That will be at 7:30. I will unfortunately not be here for that match. I will join you guys in a couple of weeks for Sporting Connecticut's match against Merrimack Valley. It's on the 14th of June. Doing ever so well is Abby Johnson to win that back. Now to Lily McFadden. Able to find Jordan. Burgess. Trying to get end line. Almost beating Ross. Does so, but it is a goal kick. Look at what Abby Burgess loves a step over. Loves a nutmeg as well. Oh, there's a player down behind the play. No, dear. Okay, it looks like for a second a cramp because just the way that the goalkeeper, Kazasek, reacted to the player on the floor. Thought it could have been something a bit more serious there. Well, the referee has not called for the athletic trainer. Yeah, so behind the play, it's think it is Julianne Ross who's getting stretched out. Oh, they just signaled for a substitute. Well, it is Ross who's getting back to her feet, but I did see one of the players signal to say make a substitution. Yeah, and that is going to be it. It's not what you want to see right at the end of the match. Julianne Ross has been really solid at that right back position. But Rhode Island are going to have to be forced to make a substitution now in the 4th minute of stoppage time just to see out the final few seconds. I'm hearing there is just about 1 minute left, so we'll play 4 minutes of stoppage time. And Rhode Island claiming a foul, but the referee says play on. Jordan looking over the top. It's a great ball for Abby Johnson. She lobs the keeper, and it's cleared off the line. Oh, now the flag comes up for offside. I don't know quite about that. It looked like Abby Johnson was in an onside position. You all will probably be able to see it scrolling back at home. Great goal line clearance. I believe that was that Rebelli who cleared it off? That was 23. That is Usala Kawadu that had that clearance. I think she was also the one that just came on for Ross a second ago. So outstanding stuff. Finding a way to stay locked in. Ball over the top. Burgess is onside. Trying to cut back onto the left. Keeper was about a good 6-7 yards off the line. The lob might have been on there. Because now we're almost into the 6th minute of stoppage time. And Sporting looking for one more. The flag will come up. That was offside and a collision as well. And the referee points to the center, and that's going to do it here as Sporting Connecticut win their WPSL season opener, a convincing 5-2 victory over Rhode Island Rogues FC. Your goal-scoring summary, Ryan Denecor in the 3rd minute gave Rhode Island the lead. It was leveled in the 32nd minute from Aubrey Culpa. Then Tiffany Weimer gave Sporting Connecticut the lead right on the stroke of halftime. Tori Souza made it 3-1 in the 53rd minute. Magda Carpenter pulled one back 30 seconds after to make it 3-2, but then goals from Weimer in the 68th and Kara Jordan the 74th minute rounds out the scoring. Thanks so much for tuning into this presentation of WPSL Soccer and the National Soccer Network. For our entire Bluegill Productions crew, I'm JJ Duke saying so long from Middletown, Connecticut. We'll see you next time.